This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for the afternoon of Monday, July 3rd, 2023. I'm Alex Brown. A Fort Wayne public health provider has big ideas for a closed school in the city's southeast Oxford neighborhood. Now, Neighborhood Health is seeking financial backing to make it happen with the $20 million Oxford Project Capital Campaign to transform the former Elsie Ward Education Center. Campaign co-chair Jerry Henry.
When this showed up, I just said, we got to make this happen. We like win-win, and the neighborhood needed it, the community needed it. I have myself convinced we don't need another empty lot.
Upon completed renovations, the building will house health and dental clinics, sensory rooms, and an 1,800-square-foot community center open to the public. The president and CEO of One Southern Indiana will resign from her post this fall, the organization announced today. Wendy Dant Chesser, who has served in the role for over 10 years, is leaving for a position with the River Ridge Development Authority in Jeffersonville. One SI is the economic development organization and chamber of commerce for Clark and Floyd counties. The new president and CEO of Corridon-based First Capital Inc., the parent of First Harrison Bank, has begun his tenure. After over 2 decades at the company, Chris Frederick took the reins Saturday, the day William Harrod said he would resign from the post after 30 years. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
For 25 years, we've had the honor of telling the story of Indiana business. More than 1,300 shows, 8,000 interviews. We've traveled from Valparaiso to Versailles, Fort Wayne to Fort Branch, and everywhere in between. And we are just getting started. Our team is passionate about Indiana business because your story is worth telling. Join us every week as we travel the state to bring you Indiana's story. Inside Indiana Business, 25 years and counting.
The U.S. Air Force conducted its first test flight of the new T-7A Red Hawk advanced jet trainer last week in St. Louis. IIB's Kate Sharon has details.
The aircraft, once in production phase, will include a fully installed aft section that will be produced at Saab's new research and manufacturing facility at Purdue University's Discovery Park District. The 63-minute flight, conducted by USAF test pilot Major Bryce Turner and Boeing T-7 Chief Test Pilot Steve Schmidt, was made on a T-7A that was built during the engineering and manufacturing development phase. The aft sections manufactured during that phase were built at Saab's facility in Sweden. The last of the 5 aft fuselages were shipped to Boeing's production site in St. Louis a year ago. Saab opened its $37 million facility near Purdue's West Lafayette campus in October 2021. The facility will be used for production series of the aircraft, which will be used for pilot training by the Air Force. Robert Ulibarri, General Manager and Vice President of Saab's Aerospace Systems Group, told IIB when the ribbon was cut on the facility that once production is fully operational, they will have the capacity to build 2 aft units per week. By 2027, Saab expects to hire up to 300 employees for the West Lafayette facility. Kate Sharon, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Atlanta, Indiana-based Beck's Hybrids and Indiana Agri-News are looking for their next Indiana Farm Family of the Year. The recognition honors one Hoosier family per year that has shown exemplary work on their farm, service to the community, and to the agricultural industry. Nominations are now open and will continue through September 30th. The winning family will be recognized at the Indiana Farm Bureau State Convention in December and the Purdue Fish Fry next February. The two partners have presented the Indiana Farm Family of the Year award in each of the last 26 years. Past recipients have hailed from across the state, from Allen to Vigo counties. The defense and aerospace sector represents a multi-billion-dollar industry in Indiana, but 3rd District Congressman Jim Banks believes the state could see significantly more business. Banks hosted the 2nd annual Northeast Indiana Defense Summit last week in Fort Wayne, attracting business, academic, and military executives from around the country.
Well, we're talking about thousands of jobs just in the Fort Wayne area. And you got Raytheon, General Dynamics, L3Harris making weather satellites. Ultra Electronics in my hometown of Columbia City makes sonobuoys. All of the important work that's being done here is important. It's innovation, but the vision of our summit today is introducing some of the leading innovators from Silicon Valley, from around the country, to Fort Wayne, Indiana. We're rebuilding as defense budgets are higher than they've ever been in U.S. history for good reason. As we prepare for a conflict with our great adversaries like China, Russia, Iran, North Korea.
Anduril Industries founder Palmer Luckey was a speaker at the event. Luckey and his multi-billion-dollar company like what they see in Indiana.
There's a reason that companies are here, both the talent, the labor pool. It's a really friendly climate, business-wise, regulatory-wise. And I know everyone says that about where they're from, but remember, I'm from California. And so I have to deal with some of the worst of it. And so it's so refreshing to be in a place where the local climate is so supportive of businesses like mine.
The city of Gary now has a permanent police chief. Lakeshore Public Radio's Michael Gallenberger reports.
Anthony Titus was publicly introduced as the new chief during a press conference Friday. He's been with the Gary Police Department since 1992. Titus says he knows firsthand the struggles Gary police officers have faced and called for unity going forward.
It is our chance to stand as those who swore to serve and protect and show the community the type of servants and leaders that we can be. This is absolutely a new day for us.
Titus replaces Jerry Williams, a state police major who's led the department as interim chief since January. It was part of a larger partnership involving the city and the Indiana State Police to review the department's policies and procedures. State Police Superintendent Doug Carter says the structure will lead to greater accountability.
It's been an absolute pleasure for me in a nearly 40-year career to be able to be a part of something like this that we've never been able to do before, have never done before, and very likely one of the few state police agencies in the country that have engaged with the local community like this.
Mayor Jerome Prince says he's hopeful that the police department will continue moving in the same direction after he leaves office at the end of the year. For Lakeshore News, I'm Michael Gallenberger.
Indiana Secretary of Commerce Brad Chambers is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, and entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Alex Brown for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.